Hello and welcome to the crossover, where nothing is out of bounds and everything is fair game. We have a lot to cover with you today, but first, let's check in with the Tunnel Crew. Please give a warm welcome to Stats, Eddie P, Rooftop, TP, and Big T.
What is happening, everybody? Once again, it is time for the greatest show on the radio, on the internet, on YouTube. It's the greatest sports show there is, and it's none other than At Home with the Crossover. I am your man, Big T, alongside my tag team partner, the usual cast of character. he just spun his seat around and joined me talking about the man that is a huge Philadelphia Eagles fan. If you're watching on YouTube, you see the hat, you see the banner on the wall. He's a huge WWE. You see the ring. You know, he's a huge WWE fan, thus the belt hanging over the shoulder. He's a huge LeBron James fan, so I know he's upset about what happened last night and so far this whole season. But, you know, he's also a huge Wake Forest fan in every sport, football, basketball, all of that stuff. I'm talking about none other than Birdman is in the house. Bird, what is going on?
It's such a shame that Aggie P just had to do an event because he let me down on Thanksgiving, man.
They let you down. You're talking about the Giants, man. They couldn't get it done. Couldn't beat Stats Cowboys, you know. So, hey, it is what it is. Hey, and for this show, you know, until the Tunnel Crew puts on a little weight, you would think we'd be fat because Thanksgiving just ended, but we lost weight over the Thanksgiving holiday. So until we put on a little weight, our producer may jump in and out every now and then. And his name is Percy. Percy, say what's up to the audience.
What's up? I might, chime in with a little something. We'll see.
There we go. So the producer might jump in and stoke the fires of sports conversation. But until then, I just want to let everybody know that together, we are the Tunnel Crew, watching everything that happens inside and outside the tunnel, leading to the lines of competition in the world of sports. The Christmas season is upon us. Thus, my background has changed. It's the holidays. It's Christmas time. We celebrate the birth of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And then all the other things that go with it, like the tree and ribbons, bright red ribbons and greenery and all that good stuff. Angels. So we just have a great time during this. We love the Christmas season. So, hey, I hope everybody's ready. I hope you're enjoying your time with your family. But anyway, it's time for At Home with the Crossover. And on this edition of the show, college basketball season is off to a fast start, especially, the roller coaster of a start for teams like Duke and North Carolina and even Gonzaga, Kentucky. A lot of teams already got 2 L's and the season just starting. Matt Rule is back in business. Yeah, Matt Rule, the Panthers fired him, but somebody has hired him. He is back. We'll talk about that a little bit coming up. And we'll recap the Thanksgiving NFL games as well as the entire Week 12 of the NFL season. All of that and much, much more. But I know you're probably saying to yourself, Big T, you didn't mention, college football. Well, that's because we always begin with our hot topics. The hottest stories of sports may not be what everybody else is talking about, but it's the things we, the Tunnel Crew, Big T and Bird, want to talk about. And
maybe the producer.
And maybe the producer might chime in. And leading off that hot topic list is college football, because there was a shakeup heard around the country in college football this past weekend. It was a tough day to play your rivals at home because some teams bit the dust on Saturday. And we're going to start with that much, much hype game in Clemson. Well, it wasn't really hype. A lot of people didn't think it was going to be close. Thought Clemson was going to blow them out. As the Clemson Tigers entered the game with a nation-leading 40-game home winning streak. the longest active home winning streak in the country. And long came their rivals, the Gamecocks, and Mr. Spencer Rattler, the Oklahoma transfer. And Spencer Rattler, all he did was went out there and complete 25 passes, 360 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 through the air, 1 on the ground. And, you know, the Gamecocks beat Clemson, ending that 40-game home winning streak, 31-30. I hate it for my man, Peyton. You know, Peyton's joined us on the show a couple of times. He plays defensive line for Clemson. I hate it for him, number 55, big number 55. I hate it for you, buddy. But I'm telling you, man, South Carolina played a good game, and Clemson helped them. Birdman.
Yes, sir.
Your thoughts on South Carolina snapping the 40-game home winning streak?
All good
ahead.
things must come to an end.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it on that side. All good things must come to an end. It's not like South Carolina is a bad team, and it's not like Clemson is a bad team. It's one of them games where, you know, it's exciting to watch. Mm-hmm. Somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose, and it just was South Carolina's day to win. Yeah. And you're right. I mean, you know, and Spencer Rattler, you know, so we know what Spencer Rattler is. In that game against Tennessee 2 weeks ago, when they put 63 points on the board against the Vols, you know, man, he is South Carolina and Spencer Rattler have ended 2 triad guys who were doing big things at their schools. Like we said, Peyton Page, number 55 over there at Clemson, and then number 5, you know, Hendon Hooker down at Tennessee. They represent a triad well, and we appreciate the fellas doing what they're doing, putting their teams on the national spotlight and everything. But Spencer Rattler has done both of them, man. You know, I mean, 60-something points on Tennessee when Tennessee was ranked number 5, and Spencer Rattler threw for 6 touchdowns in that game. And then we just gave you his stats for this game and upsetting his rival, Clemson 31-30. Spencer Rattler, you know, is the triad killer when it comes to triad players doing big things. And, you know, that 40-game winning streak is not the only streak that ended, because Clemson had won 7 straight against South Carolina. No team in this rivalry has ever won 8 in a row, so that streak stays alive, because nobody still won 8 in a row, because South Carolina won, but they snapped that 7-game losing streak to South Carolina. And there was another huge streak that went down. Clemson had won 68 straight games when they led at the half. And this time they blew a 23-14 halftime lead. Shane Beamer, look out. That everybody knows that's Frank Beamer's son. He's in his 2nd year down there at South Carolina. He is gonna be on the radar, because I don't know if South Carolina will be able to keep this guy. Especially if they keep winning. You know, Virginia Tech may come calling. They may get rid of their guy, and I'm sure he'll be the first guy on their list to bring to town. But you know, now South Carolina, like we said, has had back-to-back wins over top 10 teams for the first time in school history. DJ Uiagalelei was terrible. I mean, you can't put it any other way. 8 out of 29 for 99 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And Dabo kind of summed it up. He said, hey, we didn't deserve to win the game today.
Putting up Zach Wilson numbers.
There you go. You know, I mean, he was absolutely, and that's the problem with him. He teases you. He'll have an absolute monster game like he did against Wake Forest here in Winston-Salem, game that I was at. And thank you, Miss Page, for providing me the opportunity to go to that game. And he put up had a monster game. But he had 5 touchdowns, over 400 yards, you know. And then he goes out there and does this, 99 yards, 8 completions, you know. It's just crazy. Bird, you got any more thoughts on this game? Or producer, you got any more thoughts on it before we move on?
Well, you just summed it up. Clemson goes as DJ goes. If he has a great game, yep, Clemson is going to have a good game. He is Mr. Inconsistency. I mean, just like we was talking before the show,
Yeah.
You know, a couple of years ago, that Notre Dame game when Notre Dame was competing in the ACC, I thought that he was just going to carry that on into the next season. You know, he has that experience under his belt, but since he's taken over the reins, he has not lived up to expectations.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, and that's the thing, man. He is, you know, feast or famine. You know, I mean, he's either gonna and Spencer Ratliff is like that too. The only thing is Spencer Ratliff put together 2 monster games back to back against, you know, 2 top 10 opponents. And you know, now you watch his next game, he'll probably go out there and throw 6 interceptions. I mean, that's who he is. But Bird, you got any more thoughts before we move on?
Well, I'm interested in seeing, because they are right now in the playoff bracket, right? Clemson.
No, that took them out. You know?
Oh, okay. So, but they do have a bowl game.
They play the ACC championship this Saturday against Carolina, and then they'll definitely go to a bowl game. And it'll probably,
and of course, the CFP rankings are being released right now, and Clemson just dropped to 9, so they're definitely out of playoff contention.
Yeah, they are out. They are out.
Okay, so I mean, I think you guys both touched on it. They're just going to go as far as the quarterback will allow them to go. It's not really the coaching; it's more so the quarterback. I don't know if it's just his mental, you know, his mentality. That's why I kind of just. You know, I don't put too much pressure on these young guys as playing the quarterback position like Hooker and stuff like that. Yeah. You know, we could talk that he's a Heisman candidate and all this other stuff, but I just want to see more. Yeah. And to me, Clemson is going to go as far as the quarterback allows them to go.
Yep, I agree. All right. Well, hey, like I said, it was a bad week to be a rival host. I mean, be a home team hosting your rival, because Carolina, Chapel Hill, let NC State come in there and beat them 30-27 in overtime after the field goal kicker missed a field goal that would have tied it and forced another overtime. And in that game, another guy that kind of, you know, he's kind of a little bit of a roller coaster, you know, May, you know, just didn't show up for 3 quarters and then tried to pull the team out in the 4th quarter, had a decent 4th quarter and decent overtime, but, you know, just too much of a hole. And like I said, Carolina, you know, lost. NC State got it done. Rival winning on the road again. The only rival that won their home game, I'm sorry to bring this up, Bird, was the Duke Blue Devils. They're now 8-4 after their 34-31 comeback win on Wake
Florida State.
Yeah, and Florida State took care of business against Florida, even though Florida played a heck of a game. I didn't think they were going to play that good of a game, but they played a heck of a game. So your guys, your thoughts on any of these games that we just brought up, the Duke Wake game, the Carolina State game, even the Florida State Florida game that the producer just mentioned.
Well, you know, Carolina came out flat. I mean, from the get-go, and they fell into a hole early. Yeah. So it was like it took all that they could to get back into the game. So you couldn't blame it all on the kicker. They were just playing flat all game long. I don't know if they ate too much at Thanksgiving or what. But I mean, you really cannot rely on Carolina football to do much of anything.
Yeah. Hey, they
always let you down.
Yeah. They were sleepwalking. That tryptophan was still in their system.
Yes.
Bird, your thoughts? I know you want to talk about Wake, so go ahead.
Well, I'll say this. Duke is becoming a really good football team. They're known more for basketball, but they're becoming more of a football team. Yep. And Sam Hartman, he's just his time to go. It's time to go.
Yeah.
And the defense, I've always said this since the beginning of the season. I know we're on the hard break, but I'll say this real quick. The defense is our Achilles heel. That's going to be the death of us. We got to fix that. Tighten up on that.
Got to go get a new D coordinator, probably. To try to.
You can say that for Carolina too, because their defense does. I mean, you know, they got a defensive coordinator supposed to be one of the best defensive coordinators, and they still give up huge chunks of yards and way too many points.
Absolutely. Hey,
So, like I say, tough time for a lot of these teams playing the rivals, but nobody had a tougher time than those guys in scarlet and gray up there in Columbus. And we definitely going to touch on that and talk about that when we come back on the other side of the break. You are listening to At Home with the Crossover.
Why so sad when the joy is here? What's the answer? Joy in the morning, the crossover. You can find them all right here on 100.7 WLJF. There's no need to be down when there's plenty of joy to go around. Get your daily dose and turn that frown upside down. Love and Faith Radio, 100.7 WLJF, the joy.
My name is Priscilla Van. I'm with Hometown Insurance Service. I'm an independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare, senior solutions, life, and health. I work with dozens of companies so that I can offer you the appropriate coverage as well as the affordable price for your insurance needs. If I can help you, please contact me at my website, hometowninsuranceservice.com, or email me at hometown.inservice, or you can find me on Facebook at Hometown Insurance Service. Thank you.
Times are changing. We all have questions about the future. Join us as we find the answers through the Word of God.
Love and Faith Christian Fellowship invites you to join our congregation. One church, 2 locations, Greensboro and Kernersville.
We're helping people on their path to find God as we provide spiritual leadership and growth through diverse ministry.
Celebrating over 25 years of ministry, join our Love and Faith community where Jesus Christ is Lord and the people are loved.
All right, welcome back to At Home with the Crossover. And hey, if you're new to the show, or if you're a longtime listener, longtime fan, and you've been, keeping up with us, you don't want to miss what we have going on here. Because like I said at the opening, this is the greatest sports talk show on the radio, on the internet, on YouTube. And it's because of all the members of the Tunnel Crew and our producer, Percy, and all the people that work behind the scenes. You will feel and sense the joy of the Lord coming through each and every week when you tune in. And the times that you can do that, Tuesday night, 7 p.m., go to the Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel and be sure to like, share, subscribe, and tell everybody about it. Then on Thursday nights, catch the audio version of the original Crossover Sports Show. You can find it online at WLJFradio.com. You can also download the WLJF app, which is available both on Google Play and in the iTunes Store. So catch us Tuesday night, 7 p.m. on YouTube, Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel, and Thursday nights on online at WLJFradio.com for the audio version of the original Crossover Sports Show. And this is At Home with the Crossover, found on YouTube. All righty, let's jump back into the conversation, because we were talking about rivals beating people on their home field. And we mentioned, several of them, but the one we didn't mention was a biggie up there in Columbus, up north, team in scarlet and gray and the team in maize and blue, that's how they affectionately refer to their colors. Michigan Wolverines, who were ranked number 3 last week going in, went into number 2 Ohio State's place and absolutely put a beat down on 45-23 was the final score. The Buckeyes surrendered passing touchdowns of 72 yards, 69 yards, and 45 yards, all in the first half, y'all. First half. They were so committed to trying to stop, because I don't know if you remember, last year, Michigan ran for over 250 plus on them in the game at Michigan that Michigan also won last year. And so they were so scared that they put 7 in the box
left their secondary and one-on-one man-to-man coverage. And Michigan said, and they held Michigan to 10 yards rushing in the first half. So they did their job. But Michigan said, we're not a one-trick pony. We can beat you through the air. And they proved it with those 3 huge monster passing plays for touchdowns in the first half. And like we said, they held Michigan to 10 yards in the first half. But in the second half, they were a little worried, a little nervous about those passing plays. So they started dropping guys back in coverage, got those guys out of the box, and Michigan said, oh, great, this is what we've been looking for. And in the second half, Michigan rushed for 242 yards in the second half, held Ohio State to 19 yards rushing. Running back Donovan Edwards filling in for the Michigan star running back who was injured. And I can't think of his name right now, but he was out. He's the number 1 guy. Donovan Edwards ran for 205 yards in the second half alone, had an 85-yard scamper that basically put the game away. Career high, 216 yards total, 2 rushing touchdowns. And all of that led to, Michigan's first win at Ohio State since 2000. A 12-0 regular season for Michigan for the first time since 1997. You might recall they won the national championship in 1997. And it was the biggest win for Michigan at Ohio State since 1976. It was also Michigan's first win against Ohio State in a top 3 matchup. They've played 3 of them. They played when they were both in the top 3 in 2006, played when they were both in the top 3 in 2016. This is the first time Michigan won, and it's their first time beating Ohio State back-to-back since 1999-2000 season. They were previously 0 for 8, their last 8 against Ohio State, losing by an average of 41-27, and they got it done. I mean, they put an absolute whooping on Ohio State in the Horseshoe up there in Columbus. Your thoughts, Birdman, on Michigan and Jim Harbaugh annihilating, pulverizing their rival?
Well, I love a good underdog story. Who doesn't love a good underdog story? Mm-hmm. But I'll go on record and say this. They have the potential to win the national championship this year. Because if you look at it, like what you just said earlier, Ohio State gave them a certain look on defense. Mm-hmm. And I commend them for adjusting on offense. Like, oh, okay, well, you're playing soft on that back end. Well, allow me to reciprocate by throwing this many passes on you because you're playing too soft on that back end. You're so worried about us running the ball, and they're run first team. That's their identity. But they've proved to me in that game and throughout this season that they can also pass the ball too. So they're a dual threat.
Oh yeah, definitely. Hey, I love the way you summed it up, man. I mean, you said it beautifully. And absolutely, sophomore quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, 263 yards passing, 3 touchdowns through the air, 1 rushing touchdown. And, it's just an impressive win. Producer, you got any thoughts on this game, sir?
Yes, sir. Because, I've been watching Michigan and Ohio State throughout the season. Mm-hmm. And the one thing that I noticed about Michigan is that they're very physical. Yeah. So I had a feeling that they would, I didn't think they were going to beat down Ohio State like they did, but I thought they would come out there and punch Ohio State in the mouth. Yeah. And, the way that I've been seeing this matchup is the fact that Michigan has been beating down opponents all year, where Ohio State have pulled games out, down the stretch. And so that's why I felt like Michigan was going to beat Ohio State. I would have loved it because I actually like Ohio State, but I would have loved it if they had won, but I wasn't surprised at the outcome.
Yeah. So it didn't shock you.
No, not in the least bit.
Well, and we I don't know if everybody So those of you who've been listening to the show for a while, you may remember this, but back, as recently as 2018, 2019, we even I think going into 2020 before COVID shut us down, we were lambasting Jim Harbaugh. I mean, Jim Harbaugh came to Michigan. He left San Francisco to 49ers and came to Michigan in 2015. And we were just, absolutely, like, and the amazing thing is I went back and tracked his record, because there was a feeling that this guy's terrible, but it was because every time they played Ohio State, they got annihilated. And then they always had a game where they slipped up and lost to somebody that you didn't expect them to lose to. But the reality is, listen to this, y'all. His first season there in 2015, 10-3. His second season, 10-3. His third season, a little bit of a downer, 8-5. But his fourth season, 10-3. Okay? His fifth season, 9-4. Then you had the COVID year that everybody can toss out. And remember, the Big Ten was like, we're not going to play. We're not going to. And then everybody else started playing, and they realized they were losing money and an opportunity to win a national championship. And so, okay, we're going to play. And they went 2-4 that year. That was the year Ohio State went, I think, 7-0, got and ended up going to the national championship game after beating Clemson in the playoff, and they got blown out. But and then you had 12-2 last year, made it to the college football playoff. Guess what? 12-0 this year, more than likely headed for the college football playoff again. So it's funny how things seem worse in the moment, but then when you look at it in totality, you're like, man, 10-3, 10-3, 10-3, 9-4, 8-5, and then the COVID year you could toss out, and then 12-2 and 12-0. He really hadn't been that bad.
And I think he's finally figured it out, and he's finally getting the players that they need to make a successful bid. And I think they have a legitimate shot at winning it all. Making it to the playoffs. I think they'll beat down Purdue this week, and I think when they get into the playoffs, I think they'll make some noise.
Yeah. I absolutely think they have a shot. And to be honest with you, I mean, if you look at Harbaugh's record since 2020, he's 24-2, y'all. 24-2 since the COVID year. And then if you look at that game on Saturday, 5 plays of over 45 yards or 45 yards or more. 5. How many times have you seen a Michigan team be that explosive? And in the last 2 games against Ohio State, so we told you that they beat them Saturday 45-23. Well, last year beat them 41-27. So in the last 2 matchups, the average score is 43-25 in favor of Michigan, averaging 274 yards rushing. Okay. I mean, they are absolutely beating down Ohio State the last 2 years. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to let TP talk, let Birdman talk. I'm going to even let the producer get in some more conversation. But let me say this. I heard the broadcaster on Saturday while I'm watching that game say something, and I was like, oh, that's beautiful. I wrote it down. He said, Jim Harbaugh has brought a mindset, a philosophy to Michigan. It's intellectual brutality, is what he called it. He said intellectual brutality. He said it's a power football style that utilizes multiple tight ends, extra offensive linemen, and it just wears you down. And he said, and in this age of everybody spreading you out and throwing the ball all over the field, teams don't have a problem dealing with that style of offense, especially when he starts getting guys' attention and recruits start to say, oh, I want to go there because I want to maul people. I want to run the ball down people's throat. He's going to start landing some even better recruits. And look out, man, he might change the way college football is being played all of a sudden.
And it's the same formula. It's the same formula that he's had everywhere he's been. It's the same formula he had at Stanford. Same formula that he had with the 49ers.
He's committed.
And now he's bringing it to Michigan.
Yep, he's committed to it. TP, welcome to the show.
Hello.
The
mommy
queen.
duty.
Hey, there you go. The queen,
She's here to
mama,
save the show.
doctor.
Yes, I
She
had
is
mommy
in the
duty.
house. Hey, that's why we call her mommy, mama.
Right. That's
She's
right.
the queen, mama, the doctor, the entrepreneur. She's all those things. Welcome, TP. What's up?
Blessings.
So
Yes.
you hear the conversation. We talked about in the opening. We talked about Tennessee. I mean, not Tennessee. South Carolina beating Clemson, ending their 40-game winning streak. We talked about Carolina getting upset on their home field by State, on Saturday, and we said it's been a rough time for teams playing at home against their rivals. And
Yes, it has.
And then this right here capped it off with Michigan just obliterating Ohio State on their home field. Your thoughts, Queen, on any of these games?
It's just one of those weeks when you see that the Panthers beat the Broncos as well. I mean, you just know it's one of those weeks. I mean, even our Aggies lost a week or two ago.
Yeah.
I think it's a change of the time, and I think it's just everybody just stepping up. It's just that time of the year.
Yeah, man. It's you're right about that. Hey, that Thanksgiving, I think, got everybody. All right, well, listen up. We got more coming up on the other side of the break. We got some NFL stuff to talk about. We got our question of the day. But first, I want to let you know that you can catch us Tuesday nights on YouTube, 7 p.m. Go to the Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, tell everybody you know about it. Then on Thursday nights, you can catch the audio version of the original Crossover Sports Show. You can find it online at WLJFradio.com. You can also download the WLJF app. It's available both on Google Play and the iTunes Store. When we come back, it'll be time for our question of the day.
Why so sad when the joy is here? What's the answer? Joy in the morning, the crossover. You can find them all right here on 100.7 WLJF. There's no need to be down when there's plenty of joy to go around. Get your daily dose and turn that frown upside down. Love and Faith Radio, 100.7 WLJF, the joy.
My name is Priscilla Van. I'm with Hometown Insurance Service. I'm an independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare, senior solutions, life, and health. I work with dozens of companies so that I can offer you the appropriate coverage as well as the affordable price for your insurance needs. If I can help you, please contact me at my website, hometowninsuranceservice.com, or email me at hometowninsurvice, or you can find me on Facebook at Hometown Insurance Service. Thank you.
Times are changing. We all have questions about the future. Join us as we find the answers through the Word of God.
Love and Faith Christian Fellowship invites you to join our congregation. One church, 2 locations, Greensboro and Kernersville.
We're helping people on their path to find God as we provide spiritual leadership and growth through diverse ministry.
Celebrating over 25 years of ministry, join our Love and Faith community where Jesus Christ is Lord and the people are loved.
100.7 WLJF.
All right, welcome back to At Home with the Crossover. Be sure to catch us Tuesday night, 7 p.m. YouTube is the place, the Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel in particular. And you want to go there, like, share, subscribe, tell everybody you know about it. Then on Thursday, and that's At Home with the Crossover. Then on Thursday nights, catch the audio version of the original Crossover Sports Show. You can find it also online, but at a different spot. WLJFradio.com is where it is. And you can also listen to it on the app, the 100.7 WLJF app. And you can find it both on Google Play and the iTunes Store. All right. So let me do a quick recap of Week 12 and Thanksgiving games and all that stuff, because we want that to lead right on into our question of the day. Eagles, Birdman's Eagles, now 10-1. Okay, that's the good news, Bird. They're 10-1. I see you getting happy. You see him, TP? You see he getting all excited.
I see him.
They 10-1, but the bad news is
the injuries starting to pile up a little bit, and they not looking as dominant. I mean, they had a 1-point win against the Colts. They had to come back in the fourth quarter, 17-16. It's a win. A win's a win. Give them credit. And then they had, the 40-33 win over Green Bay, which is only 7 points. And Green Bay made a comeback without Aaron Rodgers in that game, to close the gap on that one. So, they're 10-1, but there are some issues. Bird, come on, go ahead and just, I'm gonna let you do an unofficial Philadelphia Eagles spokesperson. So go ahead and tell us what the deal is, what's going on with the Eagles.
Jonathan Gannon, the defensive coordinator, always plays scared. He always plays scared. He goes into that cover 2 shell defense. Why we got linebackers? If you want Darius Slay and Avonte Maddox and CJ Gardner-Johnson, who's out indefinitely right now, if you want them to make those interceptions and stuff for you, you got to take some pressure off of that. Get the linebackers set. Stop the run. Ever since Jordan Davis went down, we couldn't stop the run. And that's our Achilles heel now. We're in that cover 2 shell defense. We need to get up out of that defense because that's not working. And teams are taking advantage of that.
You know what, TP? That was a pretty honest evaluation. It wasn't like a rose-colored super fan evaluation. It was pretty honest. I got to give him credit. He kept it clean, he kept it cool, and told the truth. So I appreciate that, Bird. Hey, do we have any social media shout outs or comments from the listeners and fans, TP?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, they are conversating with one another now. We have Talking for Fun in the house, and we have Fletcher Ashley in the house. So everyone is saying hello. They're thinking about these Eagles and starting to write some comments. So, I kind of posed the question out there, like what you said, what do you think about these Eagles? And, and also, Birdman's comments. So some more people giving us some comments, everything coming in. And
all right.
I can say that I'm a little surprised about Birdman's comment. I'm thankful that he didn't try to say, "Oh, go Eagles," and everywhere, we're there. Fletcher Ashley said Jalen Hurts is the man.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Jalen Hurts is the man.
He's the MVP leader.
I can say that I do have the Eagles up there. Fletcher Ashley just said that I'm still Giants though. So I can understand that because regardless, you're gonna go for your team.
That's right.
I know we're talking about the Eagles right now. I don't want to get too far into Dallas and Giants.
No, you are.
But I was gonna say, but as far as with the Eagles, I have them as a top contender. I don't want to say where because I don't want to see Birdman's reaction. But, I'm gonna be honest. I went to school and got to grad school in Philly, so it's definitely everywhere. Just like Panthers is here. I know Talking for Fun said Eagles. I'm a Washington fan, so laughing out loud. So there's some fans that's from other places that I think when it comes down to it, when you look at some of the plays from the Eagles, I think they probably have them as a top contender as well. Now I can say on the flip side, when it gets to those the Cowboys and the Giants, I wish that Aggie P was here right now. We can all imagine his face. So let me see if I can demonstrate. It's gonna be his face right now.
For those of you who are listening on the radio, she looked just like him when she did it. Hey, I can see him making that face.
Yes. Hey, that's our A&T face when our team loses as well. So it really hits the heart, So I know what he's feeling. I want to pose that question too. Everybody's laughing at me on social media. So yes, keep it coming. I do want to ask, not only here at Tunnel Crew, but also, I want to ask, our our crew here, like I said, not just the crew that's here, but our crew that's online as well.
Mhm.
You know, what did you think about between the Panthers and the Giants? Because as we said, we know Aggie P is a big fan.
Yeah.
I saw all kinds of stuff talking about the Cowgirls and you know, the Giants are now
Look at Berg.
yeah, the Giants are no longer Giants anymore. So, you know, what are y'all feelings about it?
All right, there you go. Well, hey, real quick, I'm gonna toss a few games out there. We're gonna run through them. Then we'll throw our question today out there. Hey, there was three decent Thanksgiving Day games. I mean, it was actually pretty entertaining. You know, sitting there eating your turkey and dressing and all that stuff and watching these games. Like, man, these games are better than I thought they were. You had the Bills beating the Lions. Who thought that game would be interesting? But it was 28-25. I mean, coming down to the wire. Cowboys 28-20, but that game was kind of nip and tuck for a while. It wasn't a blowout by any stretch of imagination. And then the Vikings Patriots nightcap 33-26. Vikings winning over the Patriots. So, you know, interesting games there on Thanksgiving. And like I said, didn't think that at least two of those games I thought were going to be blowouts, you know, and all of them were pretty good. And then the Bengals, man, they're 7-2 since that 0-2 start. They beat Tennessee, the Titans, in a rematch, playoff rematch. 20-16. Remember, everybody was like, oh man, they got lucky against Tennessee last year in the playoffs. You know, if it wasn't for Ryan Tannehill, you know, throwing that dumb interception at the end, Tennessee wins again. Hey, they went out and proved it again on Tennessee's field again and said, hey, that wasn't a fluke. You know, we for real. And guess what? They play the Chiefs this week. Remember in the playoffs, after they beat Tennessee, who they play in the AFC Championship game? The Chiefs. And so they got them again this week. The back-to-back weeks, they're playing the same games they played in the playoffs. We'll see if they can get it done again. Hey, the Ravens lost a heartbreaker. You know, 28-27. Sunshine. Trevor Lawrence led that last-second drive, takes him down the field, scores the touchdown, and then goes for two and gets it. And the Ravens, hey, give them credit. They got almost in field goal range. Dude kicks a 67-yard field goal. He's made a 67-yarder before. I think it was 66 yards. And it came up about 1.5 yards short, but it was on target. I mean, it would have won the game if he got just a little bit more in it. So they, you know, that was an interesting game there. And then TB12, Tom Brady. Everybody thought, oh, Brady, he's getting ready to turn it around for the home stretch. You know, Giselle's out the picture. He ain't got to worry about her saying, quit playing, Tom, quit playing. And now he's focused on football. They thought, you know, they've won, what, 2 in a row? And then they go out there and lose in overtime to Cleveland, 23-27. They're 5-6 now. So, you know, those are the things happening in the NFL. College basketball, I know it seems like I'm jumping, but this is going to help with our question today. College basketball, the Tar Heels, #1 team in the country. Hadn't looked like it. They were 5-0, but they hadn't looked like it in any of those games. And then it came back to bite them in the field night tournament. They lost to Iowa State in the first game, and then lost in quadruple overtime to Alabama, number 18 Alabama, 103-101. And they dropped in this week's poll to 18, from number 1 to 18. And then Duke got blown out by Purdue by 19 points. They only scored 56 points. And Syracuse, come on, man. Syracuse loses at home to a team called Bryant. I mean, I've heard they lost 73-72 at home to a team called, I've heard of Kobe Bryant, but the University of Bryant, I've never heard of. So everybody, your thoughts on any of these things, because our question today is simply this. What does the Tunnel Crew want to talk about? What's on your mind? Any of this stuff we've talked about so far, have at it, jump on it. We only got 5 minutes left. Your thoughts on any of this stuff?
I'm going to toss it to Bird because he looks like something's on his heart.
I was going to say that we look at the positives instead of the negatives for that 33 win for us. The 363 rushing yards.
Yeah,
that was most impressive.
That was.
One of the things that I wanted to point out was Jalen Hurts was part of that reason. Think about this for a second. He surpassed the greats Randall Cunningham, Donovan McNabb, and Michael Vick.
Yeah.
for the rushing yards as a quarterback, an
Team
Eagles
record.
quarterback. That's impressive. If that's not, I'm not saying that we're gonna go all the way. I mean, but seeing that performance, it just kind of energized me. Like we're contenders, like TP said.
Oh, y'all are. You definitely are.
Nobody expected us to start. If go back before the loss to Washington, and I think truly, I believe that this regular season, if we could tighten up on our defense and certain things on special teams and offense, that could be potentially our only loss of the season.
Yeah. Well, and Washington's 7-5, so that's not like it's a bad loss. I mean, Washington's on fire right now. I don't think anybody wants to play the Commanders.
Well, and think about this for a second, Big T. We usually split with Washington historically. We own the series, but we usually split. So it's not like, that loss is, it's going to hurt us,
Yeah. All right, TP. What's on TP's mind? Anything we talked about or anything else?
Well, TP said a lot, but let me say before TP talks, I want to, I posed some things out to our listeners. And so our YouTubers, basically Fletcher Ashley said that Lamar should not have taken the money they offered him, and that he doesn't think they're going to get the same offer if the Ravens keep this up.
And that's true.
Your job can be here today and ain't gone tomorrow.
Yep, so that's right.
We say that too much.
Hey, remember he started off looking like the MVP when the season first started, and then lately it's been like, man, what's up with Lamar? So,
hey, that is no different than RG3.
Yeah, that's right.
Y'all remember first year RG3, man.
Oh, everybody was like,
yeah, he was going 3 different ways there. So hey, it was something else, and we was like, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I figured he was done, one and done.
Yep.
First year, he was with the Commanders. So I'm just going Commanders, take my command. But yeah, I mean, we're having a fun show, y'all. We're turning into a fun show.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, what's on my mind. I'm excited to see who's gonna win. I'm out of the playoffs. So hey, I was on 4 games back, so I'm out of the playoffs.
So you're interested to see.
Hey, Birdman too.
Yeah.
But it's okay, Birdman. It's okay. I'm gonna tell you why. Because now we get to see who is gonna step up.
Who will step up?
Who's gonna take it over.
The regular season's over.
It's like I told you before. I love seeing when everybody comes in healthy, puts in their all. I don't like to see injuries, but I like to see when everybody has given it their all.
Yeah. Hey, love it, TP. That's great thoughts, great conversation. Really appreciate it. And hey, you can get more of that Tuesday night, 7 p.m. right here on YouTube. Go to the Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, tell everybody you know about it. And then on Thursday nights, catch the audio version of the original Crossover Sports Show. You can find it also online, just at a different location, WLJFradio.com. You can also go and download the 100.7 WLJF app. You can find it both on Google Play and in the iTunes Store. When we come back, we're going to wrap this bad boy up.
Why so sad when the joy is here? What's the answer? Joy in the morning, the crossover. You can find them all right here on 100.7 WLJF. There's no need to be down when there's plenty of joy to go around. Get your daily dose and turn that frown upside down. Love and Faith Radio, 100.7 WLJF, the joy.
My name is Priscilla Van. I'm with Hometown Insurance Service. I'm an independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare, senior solutions, life, and health. I work with dozens of companies so that I can offer you the appropriate coverage as well as the affordable price for your insurance needs. If I can help you, please contact me at my website, hometowninsuranceservice.com, or email me at hometown.inservice, or you can find me on Facebook at Hometown Insurance Service. Thank you.
times are changing. We all have questions about the future. Join us as we find the answers through the Word of God.
Love and Faith Christian Fellowship invites you to join our congregation. One church, 2 locations, Greensboro and Kernersville.
We're helping people on their path to find God as we provide spiritual leadership and growth through diverse ministry.
Celebrating over 25 years of ministry. Join our Love and Faith community where Jesus Christ is Lord and the people are loved.
It's time now for the crossover wrap-up report. Let's send it back to the tunnel crew.
All right, welcome back to At Home with the Crossover, our final segment of the show. And hey, TP was talking about the playoffs because this year, for the first time, we're doing a Tunnel Crew playoff. So we just completed the regular season. All right. Last week's standings look like this. TP, Radar, and myself, we all finished 5-3 over the Thanksgiving break. So we won the week. We all got that coveted tiebreaker weekly win. You know, we'll take it. And then number 2 is the consummate leader, the guy that's been leading the show for probably about 6 months now, Bro Mel. He finished in second place with a 4-4 record. And then we had a tie in third place with Aggie P and Stats. They both went 3-5, tied for third. And Birdman, I'm sorry, man, you know, Birdman finished 2-6, and he brought up the rear, finished in the 4th place. So the final regular season standings for the Tunnel Crew look like this. Bro Mel finishes 152 and 110. He is the number 1 seed in the playoffs. I finished 144 and 118. I am the number 2 seed in the playoffs. Radar finished with 143 wins, 119 losses. Just 1 game behind me. He is the number 3 seed in the playoffs. And Aggie P finished with 141 wins and 121 losses. He is the final playoff seed, the number 4 seed. Lock it in. TP only finished 4 games out of the playoffs. So you were right there, 4 games back, 137 wins, 125 losses. Birdman finished 17 games back with 124 wins and 138 losses. And as we've been saying for weeks, Stats was mathematically eliminated. Now he is officially eliminated with 122 wins and 140 losses, 19 games back. Bro Mel, like I said, is the 2022 regular season champion. And the weekly wins look like this. Bro Mel and I tied with 14 weekly wins apiece. Aggie P had 12 weekly wins. TP had 11 weekly wins, so she was racking up. Radar had 10 weekly wins. Birdman had 8 weekly wins. And the reason Stats is last place and has been mathematically eliminated for a few weeks because he only has 5 weekly wins. Got to get those weekly wins if you're going to have a chance. So the playoff matchups are this, and they start tonight with our picks tonight. Bro Mel, as the 1 seed, is facing off against Aggie P, the 4 seed. Me as the 2 seed, I'm facing off against Radar, who is the 3rd seed. And this is simply what we had to do. We had 8 games, and we had to pick all 8 games. And the ones where we picked the same team, we had to pick a score as the tiebreaker. These are the games. Bills at Patriots on Thursday night, Titans at Eagles, Chiefs at Bengals, Dolphins at 49ers on Sunday. Those are all the best games of the week. Then we got the ACC Championship, Clemson versus Carolina in Charlotte. The SEC Championship, Georgia versus LSU in Atlanta. And a little bit of men's college basketball here, the ACC Big Ten Challenge, Carolina at Indiana tomorrow night, Ohio State at Duke tomorrow night. So I'm going to go ahead and throw mine out there. I took the Bills 30-17, and then I took the Eagles straight up because Radar picked a different team. I took the Bengals straight up. Radar took a different team. I took the Dolphins straight up.
Then I took Clemson 30-27 because we both picked that game. I took Georgia straight up because Radar took LSU. And I took UNC over Indiana 72-69 and took Duke straight up. Radar took the Bills 36-21. He took the Titans, the Chiefs, no score needed there. He took Clemson 21-14. He took LSU, no score needed there. He took Carolina over Indiana 79-50. He thinks Carolina's going to blow them out. And he took Ohio State over Duke, no score needed there. All right, Bromel's picks. Bromel took the Bills 28-17, Eagles 28-14, Bengals, no score needed, 49ers, no score needed, Carolina over Clemson, no score needed there. He took Georgia 35-21. He took Carolina basketball over Indiana 80-75. He took Duke basketball over who are they playing? Ohio State 71-65. Aggie P's games look like this. He took the Bills 36-21, Eagles 21-20, Chiefs, Dolphins, Clemson over Carolina. He took Georgia 27-21. He took Carolina in basketball 80-72, and he took Duke in basketball 75-62. Both of those games will be played tomorrow night. So that's your playoffs. So next week we will know who the championship game is, and it's going to be exciting. All right, so before we wrap this thing up, hey, the Panthers won 23-10 over Denver. They're now 4-8, but the big thing is, big news, Matt Rule got hired by Nebraska. Panthers fired him, Nebraska hired him. Hey, he's a college coach. He turned Temple around. He had 2 10-win seasons with Temple, also turned Baylor into a national power. And Birdman, your Lakers blew a 17-point lead with 10 minutes left to go in the game last night, lost at the buzzer on a three-pointer. Okay, check this out. I heard this on ESPN today. LeBron James was 403-1 in his career when he had a 17-point lead in the fourth quarter. Only lost one time, 403 wins. Now he's got 2 losses after last night. TP, Birdman, your thoughts on anything we said before we get out of here?
Let's just keep it going. That's all I would say. Keep it going.
Excited. All right. Well,
playoffs.
All right. Well, hey, let's go ahead and get some shout outs here. Bird, give us your shut up and play a shout out.
Shout out to the Queen because the trophy's going to be handed out and it's going to be named in her honor. So.
Oh, yeah. We forgot to tell you that. Since TP won the first season championship, you know how they named the Super Bowl, the big game trophy after Vince Lombardi because he won the first 2 championships? It's called the Vince Lombardi Trophy. We're going to call our trophy the Trina Pratt Trophy.
Yes!
The Trina Pratt Trophy goes to the winner of the crossover playoffs each year moving forward. So the Trina Pratt Trophy is what we're competing for. Thanks for bringing that up, Bird. Thank you.
Wow, this is an honor. I must say, I appreciate it. Shout out to my mama. Shout out to the Lord.
There you go. I love it. So is that your shout out? Is that your shout out, Queen?
No, I want to shout out to everybody who is listening and all of our YouTubers, to Talking for Fun, to B. Smith, to Fletcher Ashley, and to everybody who supports us. That's my shout out. And Absolutely. To my crew who was not able to come on tonight. Shout out to everyone. And shout Absolutely. Out to Birdman and to you, Big T.
Thank you, TP. Appreciate it.
And our producer.
And the producer.
Yeah.
Hey, my shout out goes to the entire Tunnel crew because for making it through a grueling regular season of picks. We've made it to the end of the year. We've made it to the playoffs. We've made it to some time off because we're going to be off for 3 weeks for the Christmas break and everything. So we're looking forward to that. Hey, we hope all you listeners tuned in last week while we were off with our families for Thanksgiving to the rebroadcast of the old Thanksgiving show. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you liked it. And hope you enjoyed this show. Tell everybody about it. Like we said, like, share, subscribe, and check us out Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. on YouTube and Thursday nights at 7 p.m. on WLJFradio.com. For the Queen.
Blessings.
For Birdman.
Whosoever believe in him.
For the producer. I'm your man, Big T, signing off and saying, no matter where you are, look up, know that your creator is there. Until next time, see ya, and we might want to be you.
That's all we have for you today. So be sure to join us next week for the crossover. And remember, the Tunnel Crew don't play unless we have something to say.